Hello there and welcome to Living in Provo, Utah. Today I'm in the southern Utah County town of Santaquin, Utah. I'm going to show you around this beautiful town and give you some 5 pros and 5 cons of what it's like living in this city. And stick around to the end. I'll make sure to throw in a bonus pro that you have to know when it comes to living in Santaquin, Utah. It's going to be a good video. We're getting after it right now. So Santaquin's located on the southern end of Utah County. Just a quick history lesson on Santaquin. Currently it's right around 15,000 people, but 20 years ago it was about 5,000 people. So it's definitely seen some growth over the last 20 years, but because it's still on the southern end and it feels a little more rural and the population is still relatively small compared to other cities, my number one pro for Santaquin is affordability. You just find a lot more affordable homes in Santaquin. You're still going to find homes that are listed in the $300,000 and $400,000 range. They've built a whole bunch of townhomes and apartment complexes that have kept the prices down there, but even the single family homes, you're still going to see those in the $400,000 range. You know, nice homes, 2,500 square feet. Nothing super fancy, but I mean, that's one of the big issues right now is affordability all over Utah County, and Santaquin's one of your best places where you can get the biggest bang for your buck when it comes to affordable houses. Just to put something in perspective, I've been looking at buying some townhomes just as some rental properties. I was looking at some 1,300 square foot townhomes in Lehigh, Saratoga Springs, which is on the northern end of Utah County. They were 1-car garages too, and they were about $370,000 to $380,000. And down here, I was looking at another one in Santaquin, where I'm at now here in Santaquin today. 2-car garage, 4-bedroom townhome, 2,500 square feet for the same price. So for a lot of people, it's well worth it to them to come to Santaquin because they can just buy a lot more home, and it's worth the drive to them up to Provo. It's only like 23 minutes away to Provo from here. So number one pro for Santaquin is affordability. So I was just talking about one of my pros for Santaquin is affordability. One of the reasons because they have a lot of townhomes here. I'm on the north end of town. You can see there's just a lot of townhomes here, but they've got them all throughout town, the north and the south, and it's certainly helping with the affordability. And these particular homes here are like 2,500 square feet. They're actually pretty big homes with 2-car garages, a little clubhouse. So that's just nice for the affordability. Now, one of the cons, I guess, one of the biggest cons to me is it's really a bedroom community here in Santaquin. You're not going to find a lot of you're going to find 0 high-rise buildings. There's just not really any like tech jobs. All those jobs are up on the northern end of the county, up at Lehigh and at the Silicon Slopes area. That's where you're going to find a lot of the good high-paying tech jobs. So this is really just a bedroom community. I mean, sure, there's jobs here you can work. There's a couple of elementary schools you could work at. Gas stations, there's one grocery store, tire shop, a few other stores. There are some jobs, but nothing that I would consider like super high paying jobs. For that, most people are going to be commuting to their jobs probably up to Provo, Orem, maybe Lehigh. So that's just my con number one. This is a bedroom community with not a lot of job opportunities. So my next pro for Santaquin is it's still a very rural community. You can see behind me, I'm just like a couple hundred yards away from the last development in Santaquin, and then just a couple hundred yards from that development. Now if I turn around and show you this, well, you're just right into acres and acres and acres of orchards. So the whole entire north part of Santaquin going into Payson is all orchards, and even on the south end of Santaquin is orchards. Because of all the agricultural and rural, that type of stuff going on here in Santaquin, it still makes it feel extremely rural. So I think that's definitely a benefit here. One reason why people like to move here is it's a small town, very rural, still a lot of farming, agricultural going on very nearby. Con number 2 for Santaquin is there's very little retail shopping. Now, up until 2 or 3 years ago, they didn't even have a grocery store. Now they have a beautiful Macy's grocery store. It has an Ace Hardware inside of it, as well as an Arctic Circle hamburger restaurant. And they're developing this little area where you got a little strip mall, little Caesars, and some dentist office across there. The other main shopping part of town is across the freeway from me. You've got a Dairy Queen on that side, a big old tire, a couple other little shops. And then of course you have the main street of Santaquin that has a few businesses on it. But other than that, there's just very little shopping right here in Santaquin. Like I say, before Macy's came in, you had to go to Payson, which is only about 5 miles away. But if you want to get to any of the bigger stores, like say a Lowe's hardware store or a Costco, you're going to be going to Spanish Fork, which is going to be probably 15 minutes from here. And if you want to go to any of the malls in the valley, then they're up in Provo and Orem. That's going to take you 25 to 35 minutes from Santaquin. And of course, just depends on which part of Santaquin you are on the distance on that. But anyway, that's just my con. My next con is there's just very little retail shopping right in Santaquin. Okay, so pro number 3 for me is the traffic. This is what it's like pretty much all throughout town. It's just, with the exception of Main Street, there's, you've got the one exit getting off of I-15 onto Main Street. That Main Street can stay fairly busy, but when it comes to just walking around town and walking through the orchards and stuff, it's pretty light traffic. This is a great place to bike ride. I actually love bike riding out in these orchards, so definitely pro right there. Pretty light traffic for this little town. All right, so if you're looking for a walkable community where you can walk to the the front runner, hop on the tracks train, or grab a UTA bus, Santaquin's not really the city for you. I mean, I haven't even checked to see if UTA runs here. It probably has a stop here, but not much more than that. You don't have really any public transportation in this town. Walking to the stores would be quite a feat, carrying groceries. So it's not a walkable community. This is a place where you're going to need to have a vehicle or some other form of transportation to get around, to be able to get up to your job if you're working up in Provo Orem. So just one minor con. I mean, I think most people kind of understand that with living out in Santaquin, that you're further away from some of those amenities of the bigger cities like public transportation. So just plan on, if you're living here, you've got to have some vehicles to get around. So guys, I'm Scott Walters, Best USA Realty. If you're finding these videos helpful about what it's like living, eating, working, sleeping, the good, the bad of Utah Valley, Provo, Utah area, and today specifically Santaquin, Utah, then go ahead and like and subscribe to this channel. Make sure you tap on the notification bell so you can stay up to date every time I drop another video about what it's like living in Utah Valley. Again, today we're talking about Santaquin, Utah. Off in my distance, you can see Payson, Utah, probably the Payson, Utah LDS temple in the background. So if you want to know more about Payson, you can click on my video about Payson, what it's like living there. But again, I got people reach out to me all the time. I absolutely love it. So if you're looking to make a move in 9 days or 90 days or even 9 years, reach out to me. Give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. I'd absolutely love to get you the information you need to make a smooth move to the Utah Valley area. So with that, let's get back to the pros and cons of Santaquin, Utah. Pro number 4, Rolly's Red Barn in Santaquin. There it is right there. It's quite prominent as far as you can see it right off of I-15 as you're driving south or north along the I-15. You can see the Rolly's Red Barn. It's become quite the iconic location. A beautiful building and just a lot of activities you can do here. It's a great place for the fall. They have pumpkin patch and just all those fall type of activities that they have here, but it's open year round. They have great ice cream. One of their staples is they do the apple slushy, and you can put ice cream in that apple slushy. They have a lot of like dried apples, other dried fruits, dried nuts, jams, jellies, just other trinkets and souvenirs that you can buy here. So this is a fun little gym that is right here in Santaquin, is Rolly's Red Barn. I'm going to take you inside and just show you around what it looks like on the inside. Con number 4, there's no public high school, middle school, or junior high in Santaquin. Your kids will be bused to, for public schools anyway, they'll be bused to Payson. That's your closest high school, middle schools, and junior highs. So with the population growing here in Santaquin, I'd expect that those amenities for having those public schools will be coming in the near future. But they do have behind me, this is a charter school, C.S. Lewis Academy. Generally these charter schools have multiple grades in them, oftentimes all the way up to high school. So you do have that option here in town. But as far as public schools, you've got, I believe, 3 elementary schools. There's one on the north end, there's one on the south end, and one on the west end of town. But when it comes to the high schools, junior highs, you're going to be going over to Payson. Pro number 5 for Santaquin is Santaquin Canyon and just all the other recreational activities that are available here in Santaquin City. So Santaquin Canyon is just located on the east side of Santaquin, and it goes up in the mountains. It goes all the way up onto the Nebo Loop Road. So you've got this close by access to get up on the Nebo Loop Road with all the camping, hunting, fishing, hiking activities that you have up there. There's a beautiful little river that flows out the Santaquin Canyon as well. There's a lot of beautiful, just beautiful scenery, a lot of rugged, cliffy, mountainous area up the canyon. It's just really quite scenic. It's a beautiful drive. And then they've got quite a few. Again, you can see the sign behind me. It gives you the mileage to a lot of the different campgrounds that are up that canyon. But one of the other things that people don't talk about a lot too is Santaquin's also kind of the gateway heading out to the Little Sahara sand dunes. You're probably 45 minutes from Santaquin to the Little Sahara sand dunes out in the West Desert. People love going out there, taking their razors, their ATVs, and just spending a weekend out there riding their recreational vehicles all around the sand dunes. So you're just really, you're also on the south end of Utah Lake basically for Santaquin, so you're really close to Utah Lake, and you're really not that far away to a lot of the other canyons in Utah County, like Spanish Fork Canyon's really close. Even Hobble Creek Canyon, not that far away. So just it's really good location for a lot of outdoor recreation for Santaquin. So my final con number 5, Santaquin City does not have a whole bunch of city parks and amenities, but there is one nice park here on the east bench side of Santaquin with cute little playground and pavilion. And they do have some other local parks like this, but when it comes to some of the bigger amenities like a community pool or a community recreation center, you don't have any of that here. Don't really have any like community trail systems going on in Santaquin. So there's just not a ton of that community amenity stuff. They do have like a sports park, more of like a soccer park down by the Summit Ridge area for all the soccer games. They do have a robust community sports program, soccer, baseball, basketball leagues for the kids. So they do have that, but like I say, when it comes to having a lot of big parks, there's not a ton. The Summit Ridge area does have a couple of association parks in that area that are fun for the families to attend, and those are open to the public as well. But anyway, that's kind of one of the drawbacks, not a lot of community amenities. Okay, so I promised you a bonus pro that you've got to know when you're moving to Santaquin. The fact is Santaquin is the southernmost city in Utah County, so it's a little further away from Provo, Salt Lake than all the other Utah County communities. However, it's still closer to Provo, Salt Lake, Lehigh than some of the other southern Utah County cities like Salem, Elk Ridge, and Woodland Hills because of what you can see here behind me. Santaquin is just split right in half by I-15. You are literally just minutes from almost anywhere in Santaquin to the I-15. So you're 23 minutes from I-15 to one I-15 exit to the other, from Santaquin to Provo, 23 minutes. That's it. You're really close. I mean, that's from Salem, you're 23 minutes because you got to go through town before you hit the freeway. If you're in Elk Ridge and Woodland Hills, then you're going to be, 35 minutes because of how much further from the freeway you are. So that's just, that's something you got to know. Even though you're a little further out, you're still pretty darn close to those centers, and then you're getting a big bang for your buck when it comes to home purchasing power. You're going to be able to get a bigger home for less money here in Santaquin than pretty much all the other cities along Utah County corridor. So anyway, that is my bonus pro. You got to know that about Santaquin. Even though it's further away than everywhere else, it's actually pretty quick because of the freeway as far as getting to where you need to get to. So I hope you enjoyed this video about the pros and cons of Santaquin, Utah. Remember, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap on that notification bell so you can get notified every time I drop another video about what it's like living in Provo, Utah and the Utah Valley area. Look, I've got people that reach out to me all the time. So if you're thinking of moving in 9 days, 90 days, or even 9 years, reach out to me. Give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. I'll get you the information you need to make a smooth move to the Provo, Utah area. And with that, I'll catch you on the next video.